Guruji wrote this book, a beautiful book, right? So if you have a chance, if you haven't read it, read it. And if you have read it again, because you want to read it many times. And so Guruji, when Gurudev, before Gurudev took the Samadhi, he asked Guruji to write 5 to 7 books a year, every year. So imagine this, Guruji writes 7, 8, 10 books sometimes, 5 to 7 books a year. He also travels, he takes 100 flights a year. 100 flights means every 4 days he's in the plane. He meditates 10 hours a day. And beyond that, he has the time to come here and help us all over the world. I was in LA last week, he was there. This week he's here. By the way, he flew from Australia, came in the morning, evening, all day he was active, talking to people, visitors, and in the evening he gave a discourse. Next morning he flew to South America. And then from there he came here. So imagine Guruji doing so many things. And his books are very, very, I love these books because they are so good in terms of giving us practical knowledge of how to live our life. So a book about knowing your mind, or about anger, controlling your anger, or not judging people. So topics like that, he has written some beautiful books which help us figure out how to live our life peacefully, right? So today we'll talk about this book. So our mind is our friend or our foe. Our mind can help us or our mind can hurt us. Our mind can bring joy, peace, love, serenity, or our mind can cause resentment, anger, frustration, negative thoughts. So, do we want our mind to control us, or do we want to control our mind? That's the question. So Guruji has, in this book, Guruji has a beautiful example. When he was a child, when they got new clothes from their parents, they bought new clothes. They would put them in front of the altar, in front of the God. So they would offer the new clothes to God before they would wear them, and then they would bow to God, and then the elderly people there, like parents and others, to get their blessings before they wear those clothes. So it's about surrendering and it's about humility, right? And so you may say, what do new clothes have to do with mind? So mind and new clothes are, there's some similarities, right? The new clothes are fresh, they are clean. The same way, our mind needs to be clean, pure, fresh. And what that means is we have to control our mind, we have to direct our mind in the right direction to be pure. So first thing Guruji talks about is the best way to control our mind is to surrender to God. Like his clothes, the new clothes were first given to clothes before they even wore them. So surrendering to God would be very important part of knowing your mind with humility. So there may be a question in our mind. God, I mean, I do hear about God. I read in the books, but how can I don't know God. I really don't know God. how can I just surrender to God? Uh, what has happened to me personally is I don't know God. I have not seen God. Uh, I have craving and desire, and I believe in God, but I haven't seen God. But you know what? I've seen God. I've seen God through them. I have seen God through Guruji and Gurudev. When I'm in their presence, I feel godly. I feel very, very spiritual. Why? Because we have some masters who have experienced God. They know God. They know God because they have experienced and they have achieved Nirvikalpa Samadhi, which is like meeting God, meeting universe, right? Merging into the cosmic consciousness. So when in front of them, I, I see that. So if we know God or not, uh, it's like your great grandparents. Most of you may not have seen them, but if you have a picture in front of you, you're going to say you get some evoke some positive feelings, some love, some gratitude. You would get some good feelings just looking at the picture, even though you don't know. So same thing could happen with God, with God's picture, with God's image. One can surrender to that God. So you could surrender to God with, oh God, I am surrendering everything to you. My mind too. My mind, I don't know how to control. It can be crazy sometimes. How do I surrender to you, give you my mind, and you help me, you guide me. You guide me. It's like you eat some food. When you eat the food, who do you give credit to? Do you give credit to the mouth, which you took the food in with, the teeth which chew the food, tongue, or your digestive system? Who do you give credit to? Or externally, do you give credit to the farmer who grew it, or the supply chain which brought it to the store? Who do you give credit to? We tend to take that credit ourselves. I ate the food, but you could. It's not you; it's the whole system which help you eat that food. So same thing could happen with uh, same thing could happen with your instead of taking the credit, giving it to the God. What happens is when you do something good, you got you got a degree. I did it. I worked hard and I got a degree. If I have a promotion at my job, I'm going to say, I did it. I worked hard and I deserve it and I got the promotion. Everything good happening in our life, we tend to take credit for. And everything which is negative or something we are not proud of, we are going to say something else made it happen externally, maybe so and so, or situation, or God plan, So that's how we tend to do. Instead of whether it's good times or bad times, good achievements or not so good achievements, you want to not take the credit because it's the credit belongs to God, and thank God for giving you this achievement. It's not just your intellect by itself has done this. It's not just your memory has done it. It's God. So that's how you could surrender to God for controlling the mind. God, you take this mind, you help me control it. A good story about Swami Vivekananda, who traveled in India. He was in 1800s, by the way. So he was traveling in India, spreading God's words, and he ended up staying in a king's palace with the king for a few days because he was talking to the people in that kingdom. The king did not believe in deities and made fun of the people in his kingdom. He would believe in deities. He would make fun of them. He would be sarcastic with them. So Swami Vivekananda saw that. There was a big painting of king's father, who was a king himself before, and there was a big painting, and Swami Vivekananda asked the king to take that painting down and said, now on this painting, go ahead and spit on this painting. And king said, what do you mean spit on the painting? It's my father's painting. Why would I spit on it? Vivekananda said, just go ahead and spit on it. It's just canvas. It's just paint. It's not your father. Why can't you just spit on it? And king became very upset. And Vivekananda told the king that it's like people who see God in river, in the mountains, in deities, in idols. They also have their faith, just like you have in this painting, because you connect with that as your father's painting. So we could learn from this example is that we should also surrender. It doesn't matter how and what form you believe in, surrender with humility. Humility is a key word. If we have ego, I did it, it's me, then the voice may not reach. But if you are humbly bowing and surrendering sincerely, then it would happen. We, knowing our mind, is sometimes hard because there is a lot of pollution around. Our mind gets polluted. In old days, in India, the way the knowledge passed on was the students would live with the guru or with the sage in the forest somewhere in the ashram, and they lived there for many years to gain the knowledge. In those days, there were no pens, no pencils, no paper, no recorder, no television, nothing, no technology. But regardless, they had to sit in front of the teacher and grab the knowledge, absorb the knowledge, because it was like a flow. Teacher would daily from morning to evening would do things, and by examples and by whatever Guru said, disciples would learn from it. But there was no way to write it down. It was all the memory. Nonetheless, there was some great knowledge got transferred in the disciples. So those were good old days or bad old days. Now we have paper, pencil, but not only that, we have recorder. We don't even have to write things down. We can listen to Guruji's lecture, which happened last night. Now it's on internet. We can just watch it. We can. So technology has improved so that we could take advantage of it. But sometimes just the opposite could happen. With the technology, we are going to have a cup of coffee in one hand. Our legs could be stretched, and we are just one hand. We may have this YouTube video of Guruji, another hand coffee. We are relaxing and not taking it seriously. So that could be another way to do it. So the point is, today we have a lot of distractions because of the information we are getting. We are getting news. News channels are only way they are selling is by exaggerating or magnifying the negative news, because negative news sells. So what would happen is there are special people in the news media who specialize in how to write the titles, and they are so enticing and so negative that you want to read more. What are they saying? Let's go further. So YouTube videos, discussions, back and forth, debates, all of those things is information coming at you. And how do you not let that information pollute your mind? It's very easy to get polluted by those kind of information coming at you. So pollution is another thing you want to watch out for. There is a beautiful story of Lord Shiva, who was there. A lot of people were very scared of a serpent named Yusuki, and this serpent was going to, with the venom, going to destroy the whole universe. So people are now getting afraid and praying to Lord Shiva, help us, help us. We are going to be all destroyed. Please help us. Shiva said, "Don't worry, I'm going to help you. I'm going to take care of it." And Lord Shiva swallowed the poison so that it doesn't affect the people outside. When Lord Shiva swallowed the poison, it only came to the throat, and then he stopped it. So the throat, Lord Shiva's throat became blue, but that's it. Shiva did not let it go down to the body so that his body would not get hurt, his body would not get polluted. At the same time, did not throw it out for others to get hurt by the poison. So the trick, the key was to keep the poison here, not let it go in, not let it go out. If it goes in, it hurts us. If it goes out, it hurts someone else. So same thing with us. All this information coming at us, it's up to us to take that garbage inside and then internalize it, or keep it externally and don't let it go out either. What we tend to do is, we hear this news, or we don't like certain politician or certain situation, it really bothers us, we take it inside, we internalize it, it now starts affecting us, our mind becomes very negative, and then we again, with our conviction and our assumptions, we start discussing with other people outside that here is what's happening and here is not good or bad. The other person may have a different perspective. They start talking to you about that, and with that kind of it's again venom going back and forth. You are spreading it internally and externally. Why not let it stay here, like Lord Shiva did? Right. So that's what we are talking about. There are some people who say, I'm not going to listen to internet from such time in the evening to next day morning, no more. That time is for meditation, for sleep, for other things, and not keep getting that information from outside, going it in, affecting our mind. So just be careful with that. It's also, Guruji talks about another good way to control the mind. Basically, become aware of our weaknesses, and then eliminate the mistakes by observing them. Right? So it sounds very simple, but it would be a good way to take time in the day. We say, when we contemplate, who am I? Why is my mind behaving in a certain way? Why is my mind creating all this trouble? Some situation happens and you feel negative about it. It obviously caused by the mind. And why did my mind do that? How could I correct that? So contemplate on that. We could also tend to create poison. We create negativity by judging other people. And Guruji has a beautiful book on judgment of other people and how to not do that. But judgment, guess what? It'll relieve that part of your role if you think that's not my job. I'm not here to judge other people. Let that be God and Gurus. Let them judge people. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here because, again, my judgment is hurting me and hurting the other person. It's like same soil, same environment, same weather, same weather and everything, but you could have a cactus tree with thorns on it and flowers on it. What do we want? We want flowers. It's like from garbage. From garbage, we create compost, and that compost create flowers and trees and nourishes the trees and flowers and fruits, and all of that happens from compost, from garbage. So why don't we not let that garbage go in, like Shiva stopped it right here, and not let that garbage go in, and if it does, make it compost and make fruits and flowers out of it, not negativity. Chapter 8 talks about senses. Senses and our mind. So the analogy Guruji makes is beautiful. Says the rider, the jockey, is the mind, and the horse is our senses. Thank you. Those are our senses. So, how do we want to control our senses so that we win the race? Senses are more gross. They are gross, meaning they exist, whereas mind is more little abstract. So it's easier to control senses than to control mind, but it's easier to control senses than which controls the mind. So what are our senses? 5 senses are
eyes, nose, ear,
touch, taste, smell.
Exactly, right? So those sense organs would be senses, eyes,
tongue, ears, nose,
yes,
skin.
Correct. So 5 sense organs are eyes. We are looking out. We are seeing things. We have ears, hearing things. We have tongue, taste, and talk. Right. We have skin, which is touch, sensation. So our senses are looking out. They are like radar looking out and experiences these things. And then those senses, after that experience or seeing, or let's say I see something, that then becomes a memory. That you saw something, that's your memory. And mind then from that memory evokes thoughts. So you have your senses are working out, then that creates uh, memory, and that memory creates thoughts. Mind thinks. So, example, let's say our tongue likes taste and craves for good food, and in the childhood we may have eaten some food which could have the good memory, some food at home, and you ate that food regularly, has created good memory in you, saying that that food is what I like, and then thought comes, I want to eat that food, and you start eating that food, and you enjoy it. Guess what? That food lasts one day, next day again, you get hungry, and those thoughts come again, and you keep doing it. Now, I'm not saying don't eat food. What I'm saying is, what happens is, as you grow in your journey, as you understand life more, you may say that that food was good when I was eating as a child, but now I'm not going to eat that food because it now hurts me. I want more. I want food which is fresh. I want the food which is nutritious. I want the food which is organic. I don't want to eat processed food. So you may make those kind of decisions, but your mind is going to try to again pull you back to the old memories. So how do you stay away from that? So how do you want to have your tongue, train the tongue? What happens is, let's say you decide I'm going to from now on eat healthier food, and tongue is still craving that old food, which is not as healthy maybe, and then you're trying to control your mind. Say, mind, shut up! I don't want to eat what you want me to. I now like this food. I want to change my habits. And tongue and mind will initially will say, keep reminding you. But if you are strong about it, you say, no, that's the food I'm going to eat. Shut up, mind. Don't bother me. Then over little time, mind gets trained. Mind understands that when you're strong and you are determined, mind knows to back off. When you are weak and let those temptation come, then mind becomes stronger. So mind takes over you versus you take over the mind. Right? So you want to eat, let's say, healthy food. So most of the senses you could control by deciding what's good for you and what's not, and then train the senses to go in that direction. Speaking of the food, the people here who are from India, when I went back to India earlier this year, I met lots of friends and family, and in one day I saw 10 different relatives. And in India, what they like to do is they like to feed you. They think food is your sign of affection. So they want to show you their love. So they'll cook nice food and then give you. So imagine I'm visiting 10 people and eating food at 10 people places, and I can't say no. I can't say no, but it hurts their feeling. So after a while, we realized that it's not good for us. We can't eat so much. So we ended up asking them to pack it. So we'll take it home. It'll be helpful to us because we don't have we're not going to open the kitchen at home. We are just visiting for a couple of weeks. So give us that food you have cooked. It'll come handy, but not right now. So, so it's the mind we need to work on through our senses. Another example is in my dorm room in the engineering college. In dorm rooms, we had people put different pictures. Somebody put pictures of actors and actresses, and some put pictures of mountains and rivers and some national parks, and some people put pictures of naked bodies, or some people put pictures of God, right? So it's our eyes, our senses, eyes. How do we want to use them? What do you want to see? You can control what you want to see by seeing what you should see, and by controlling your eye sense. Now you are controlling your mind. So senses play an important part, and you do have control over your senses. You may not have direct control over mind sometimes, but through senses you could get that control back. There is Guruji explains a beautiful thing about adding fuel to the fire. So fuel is our desire, and the fire is the enjoyment. So what happens is we have a desire. That's like fire burning. We have a desire to eat certain kind of unhealthy food. Example, it could be anything, and everyone may have different desires. And you have these desires. I want to eat this food, and then it burns fire. Now, when you eat the food, which was a desire before, that's your enjoyment. You enjoy that food because you had the desire. So what you're doing is you are adding fuel to the fire. The fire becomes bigger and bigger, and you eat more and more, and fire becomes bigger and bigger. Instead of extinguishing that fire of desire, you are adding fuel to the fire. The mind plays tricks again. Mind says, hey, I didn't smoke for a long time, but now mind says, try one more time, just one time, So again, you are adding that fuel. And try one, okay, I'll just try one time, but then I'll go back. But you have added more fuel, and then it's hard to stop it. So same thing happens with many things. Is you may have decided to stay in a certain way, not eat certain food, or senses do certain things, but over time, again, mind will try to tempt you, and you have to say no. So what happens is mind, as I was saying, if you're strong and you say no to the mind loses that power over you. So sometimes saying no, shut up, is not a bad idea, and mind will shut up. You could control your mind through self-inquiry. So self-inquiry would be question. You first observe your mind and then question as things happen. Why did my mind behave in a certain way? Why did my mind behave in a certain way? So, for example, you become, or one becomes very angry, right? So one becomes angry. Now, anger is a pretty toxic emotion sometimes. When you are angry, or one is angry, what they're going to do is, if the feeling, very uncomfortable feeling inside, you want to throw it out. So what could happen is you throw it out at someone or something to get it out of you. So not only you hurt yourself with that poison by swallowing that anger, but you also threw it out to other people who also got hurt with you, right? So a good example would be, this boss had some issues and some problems with something. The business wasn't doing good, and he was agitated. So he got unnecessarily angry with his subordinate. He said, we got really upset and angry, and the subordinate did not want to, the employee did not want to argue with the boss. Why? Because he's a boss. I need my job. I need the money. I need to feed the family. So I'm just going to let it go. So he just listened to it and then went home. After going home, the anger was still inside because the boss had already passed on that venom to the employee, but employee couldn't get it out. So goes home and then tells his wife for some small thing, gets all disturbed and bothered, and throws out that anger at his wife. Then wife again doesn't want to argue with the husband, but keeps those angry feelings inside, goes to the daughter, pass it on to the daughter. Now daughter is all upset and angry. Daughter goes to her room, locks up the room, and takes this toy and just gets her anger out by throwing that toy or destroying that toy. The anger has to go somewhere, right? So that's what happens. So we need to be careful about not passing on our anger, our other emotions, our senses, what they see and do. Be careful. Stop it instead of let it grow. And that you can do by self-reflection. Every day, few minutes. Why did I do this? Why did I become angry? Why did I do this? What could I do to not let my mind go that far? What happens is, first that memory again pops up, and then the thought comes. Initially, when the thought starts, if you stop that thought at that initial state, it's better say no, stop it. Don't go any further. It'll stop. Instead, let it continue in your mind, and after a while, that becomes bigger and bigger. It becomes like a monster. So as it becomes bigger and bigger, it becomes more stronger and stronger. It has more. It makes you more and more passionate, or your desire increases to do what that thought brings you. Instead of saying no, stop it. So initially, as the thought is coming, that's the time to stop it instead of let it continue in your mind, and then later on it becomes a monster. Discrimination, Guruji explains beautifully that discrimination is an important part of controlling your mind. And the discrimination is the discrimination between what is real and what is not real, what is permanent and what is not permanent. So if you know that, if you know what is real, then what is not real, then you don't want to react. or you don't want to get attached to it. If you, for example, if the weather is very, very cold, we don't want to get attached to that weather, say, oh, today weather is no good, and what am I going to do? And I hate this negative weather. The snow is going to, I can't even enjoy driving. And so you could do that, but you know that weather is not real. Weather is not forever. It's going to change, right? So if it's going to change, why not I accept it, thinking that new weather will come, and you could just instead increase the thermostat in your car or in your house, or wear different clothes, warmer clothes. So and with the expectation that weather will change like everything else. So don't get attached to the things which are going to change, which are really, they're not real, right? So if you look in life, what is real and what's not? Are we real? Are we going to change, or are we going to stay the way we are? We are, let's say, our youth, our energy, our good health. Is this all permanent? It's not. Show me anybody, your father, grandfather, grandparent, anybody who is here forever. We are all going to go one day, right? So that's not real. And if it is not real, then why get attached to it? Why get attached to your body? Why get attached to your youth? Why get attached to your mind, body, intellect, memory? All of those are not real. Only thing real. What is the only thing real is only one thing, which is soul. Your soul is real. Everything else will perish. Right? So I want to read this. Sri Adi Shankara, he said, I am not mind, I am not intellect, I am not memory. I am not the ears, nor the tongue, not the nose, not the eyes. I am not earth, I am not water, I am not vacuum, I am not space, I am not fire. I am pure consciousness. I am divine, I am divine. So pure consciousness, soul, is the only real thing. Everything else around you, your body parts, all those are not real. So I get attached to that. What happens when we get sick? We get worried. Oh, what will happen to me? Is this curable? How far will it go? How much suffering will happen? All of those things worry you, and but that's again not real. It's not permanent. So you want, let's say our we people have a fear of dying, and as we go deeper into Kriya Yoga and we understand the meaning of life and we internally experience, I think that fear slowly goes away or becomes less for us, and we start saying, okay, death is a beautiful thing. If you haven't read this book, Dancing with Death, yeah, read that book. It's a beautiful book. Dancing with Death. It's dancing with death. You can dance, enjoy, have fun, and not get depressed, not see it as a bad thing. It's a good thing. Our body is now, after 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years, is now tired. It may be frail. It has some diseases. It's time to get new body. So what's wrong with getting a new body? Like we got new clothes. Guruji got new clothes, and they put it on the altar and offered. Same thing with our body. It's not real. It's not permanent. So it's going to go one day. So if it's going to go one day, why so much worry? Why so much anxiety? Why so much fear? Instead, God, take it. Surrender to God, saying, God, take my body, take my life. You know that's a good time for me to go and go to my next birth. When we die, in that book it explains beautifully that when you die, your body is gone, is cremated or buried, and it goes back into the 5 elements: water, fire, earth, um, space, right, and air. So our body goes back into the universe, back to nature. But what doesn't go or doesn't die is our soul. And what doesn't die is our memory. The memory of the master, not master, but the God, the memory of the spiritual journey with the masters and God. And that memory stays with the soul, and that goes into the next life. So when you start in the next life, when we have identical twins and they're born, we are going to say, we get so happy, right? And we love them, and we are celebrations and parties of new arrival in the family. But from day one, days are counted when they would also leave the body. And when they go, the death, why not celebrate the death the same way as birth? Because the death brings another birth, and another birth will bring another death till we get realized, like the masters have. Then that cycle stops. So, point is, death can be taken as a bad thing, or with our mind, we can take it as welcoming thing.